Hello.
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 You guys always make me so nervous. I come on and nobody's talking. All right, so who do we have? I see one, two, three. Both my artists are here. I'm missing Samantha. All right, cool. And I think she told me she wasn't going to be here. All right. All right. So, how was everybody's week? Did everybody enjoy their 4th of July?
It rained in Richmond, so we didn't get to do fireworks.
That sucks.
I spent most of it at campground with my family. So overall okay.
Okay.
I just cooked a lot of food for a lot of people.
Tashana.
It was okay. I didn't really do much. Just tried to relax and catch up on some sleep.
And Ryan.
Exact same, actually.
Gotcha. Yep, me too. Me too. First of all, I apologize for making the due date. Um was it Thursday? Yeah, I think it was Thursday. I'm sorry, totally forgot it was the 4th. That won't happen again. I have the holidays all marked out on my calendar. All right. I don't have any updates other than the fact that um instead of posting the chapters and parts, this year we're going to post the whole chapter. And so that means if you guys didn't really understand, that just means that each month you guys are going to schedule 4 posts. So September will be, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. October will be chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8. Those chapters but we will be writing those chapters a month and a half in advance. So that gives us 5 weeks to make sure we have the content for that particular month up. And then one of the things I'm also changing this year is instead of everybody posting every day. So my strategy last year, as far as the social media marketing, was to post every day and several times a day. So when we did have the 4 writers and I was doing Favor of Athena, we were posting 5 times a day. And the idea was to get the algorithm for each social media platform to be like, oh, hey, they're doing their thing, right? Um, on Instagram, our numbers haven't improved that much. I would say that from this time last year, because around this time was when I started getting the team together. I would say we probably only increased by 10 on Instagram. And I'm almost positive that those 10, I would say half of those are probably bots or fake accounts. And then definitely not anybody in our, well, I think two are network connections that I made. But yeah, it hasn't been going well, except for YouTube and TikTok. TikTok around this time was probably at 29 followers. And then I think by September we had grew to like around 70, and then steadily we got up to I think we're at 130 or something like that now. And YouTube, like I told you guys, around this time last year, we probably wasn't even at 29. At this point, we were probably like at 23. So again, so that's why the focus for me this quarter is I'm going to build up more video content, because obviously that's where our audience is at. But the good thing about going to doing a chapter a week, especially since we're still in the development phase, is that it's going to allow you guys, especially the writers. I changed it because I was thinking about the writers, and I really don't want you guys to get burnt out. So now that gives you a whole week to do chapter one. Now I would prefer, so like the way my mind is working and what I wrote on paper was that Sunday will be me kind of like telling you what we're working on for the week. And then you guys start writing on Monday. You have, you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, try to do 500 words a day still. That way by Friday, you have all of chapter one done. And it gives the editor and myself time to kind of like go over it and revise and edit. And then, so that way by Saturday, we can also schedule the post for its appropriate day. Each project will have a specific day that they post on. Favor of Athena will be Sunday, Angel Protocol Tuesday, Pack Matters Wednesday. I'm not sure we're going to continue Sword Dancers because he's going to be working on one of our comic projects. So it might be his comic project that we do on Wednesday. And I'm talking about Brandon. And Thursday will be Copycats, I believe. Friday is Sword Dancers. So the Amber, get ready. We're going to start developing that this week. And then Saturday is Special Projects. So I'm gonna have like a more like detailed calendar. Like I'm gonna have the writing content calendar, and then I'm also gonna have the scheduling calendar for each project that will be available to you guys. I'm that might be a lot of work on my end. It'll be available as a group in this classroom. So any questions about that? All right, cool. All right, so this week, good job with the opening image. I did read everybody's. I like some of the ideas that you guys came up with. Like I think I just messaged Tashana. I was like, we'll probably roll with her idea. It makes a little more sense than what I came up with. So yeah, so good job, everybody. Artists, great job. We're gonna keep continuing to improve. And yeah, I was really happy that everybody turned it in on time. So that's definitely a good sign. I was joking to Teron. I was like, haha, my people are still motivated. So thank you guys for doing that. So this week we're going to, now some of you guys probably already did it because I assigned it during the week. That was before I changed our schedule. So this week, Sunday, what's today? July 7th. We're going to focus on the theme stated. And you guys probably already went through the materials, but just so we are all on the same page, I want you guys to actually, let's go to the document first. All right, so the theme stated is basically what is our story about, right? So like when people go to see Spider-Man, they want to see the action, right? And that's the genre, right? It's a superhero movie. But what makes us love the movie is the story that they're trying to tell. And I think that's what the Marvel Cinematic Universe was doing for a long period of time. I still think most of their movies are good story-wise. Like the Marvels, I thought was a pretty good story. I think the only Marvel movie I wasn't really like behind story-wise was the Eternals. And I think that's only because they try to do too much. But yeah, so the theme is, what is our story about? What should our characters be learning? what is going to make our audience cry, what's going to make them laugh, what's going to make them go, what's wrong with those guys in a good way. So the theme stated is a pretty important beat in Save the Cat, and it's a very important element as far as telling a story. So you can think of the theme stated kind of like as a little bit of a subplot. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a subplot, but you can think of it in that manner because your main plot is, again, the most likely the genre of the story that you're telling. So for us, since most of the books that I've created are ensemble books, it's very important for you guys to think of the cast as one entity, and that entity is going to have their as a group, they're going to have a problem. They're going to have flaws. They're going to have a goal. They're going to have their group want. They're going to have a group lesson that needs to be learned, and then we can filter in the individual wants and needs throughout the story. But another way to tackle the ensemble cast, as far as the theme, is maybe pick one character. So Michelle, it's going to be real easy in favor of Athena, because favor of Athena, each character actually represents one of the seven deadly sins, and each book is actually named after the sin that we're representing in the crime that was committed. So it's very easy it'll probably be easier for you to pinpoint, like, oh, this is going to be our central focus character.
Okay, awesome.
Everybody else, I think I might leave that up to you, since you're going to be doing the bulk of the writing. But I think certain themes, especially once you get to know and grow the characters yourself, I think you'll be able to pick out which character represents. And that's if you do first person. So Tashrana asked me this question last week in our group project meeting about POV. I write in first person naturally, which means the pronouns are usually I, me, for the characters. I feel like the reader can learn more about the world through the lens of that character. But I also feel like when you have an ensemble cast, switching from first person to a different first person sometimes gets a little confusing if you don't do it right. So either version of the third person limited, third person omniscient, will also work. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. I feel like, yeah, no, I'm gonna leave that. I was gonna tell you, Michelle, that now you don't have a choice, but I think I'm gonna let all y'all choose your POV, and then we'll talk about it. If I agree, then it's a green light. If I disagree, then I'm the boss. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna agree with you guys. Because again, I want you guys to write to your strengths. So if you feel like, oh, I definitely write better in first person, then I want you to tell the story in first person. That just means that you got to take that outline and make sure you think, all right, this is only being told from Colin's perspective. That means Colin's not going to know. He can assume, but he's never going to know what Ashley's thinking or what Ashley's doing, if she's in the other room. So just keep that in mind when you look at the outlines. But regardless of if you do first person or either the third person narratives, POVs, you probably should just pick a character to focus on. So a good movie that does that is the X-Men movies. Central character is usually Wolverine. No matter what's going on, we're following Wolverine for most of the movie. In Avengers, it's usually Iron Man. And then you can probably make a case for Captain America, but it's really Iron Man that we're following for most of the movie. When it comes to the earlier Avengers films. And then, it kind of becomes equal for everybody by the time Endgame comes around. So integrating the theme into your outline. There's specific beats that the theme has to be re-mentioned. Now, the theme should always be kind of present throughout all the chapters, but these particular beats and the chapters that are related to these beats, it definitely should be reinstated either by another character so that the character that is supposed to be learning that lesson or for the group to learn that lesson can easily dismiss it. So those beats are the debate. And that's kind of like, that's when you'll have like characters talk about, well, what are we going to do? And the theme probably plays a factor into that. The breaking two is when the characters kind of dismiss the theme, which means now they have to learn it. The bad guys close in is another one. This is when that, because they're not learning the lesson the right way, it's making all the drama and making all the tension build up. The all is lost is when it all shit just goes to hell. And then the dark night of the soul is the reflection and the learning of the lesson and doing it the right way so that they can go into act 3 empowered. And then the finale, there's 5 steps to the finale. The dig deep down is kind of like, all right, I know the lesson, but now I'm starting to falter a little bit. But now somebody or something's gonna happen where I remember, and then I can finally beat the antagonist. These are the 10 universal lessons by Save the Cat. You got forgiveness of self and others, love, self-love, family love, romantic love, acceptance of self, circumstance, and reality. That's the theme for Sword Dancers, Volume 1. Forgiveness is the theme for Favor of Athena. Faith in oneself, others, the real universe, and God. I believe that is the one that I'm choosing for Angel Protocol. Fear, overcoming it, conquering it, finding courage. That's probably going to be Copycats. Trust in oneself, others, destiny, the unknown. Survival, the will to live. Selfishness, sacrifice, altruism, heroism, overcoming greed, and responsibility, which is duty, fighting against injustice, accepting destiny, and redemption, which is atonement, accepting blame, remorse, salvation. So again, if I haven't highlighted that in your theme stated, that means I'm still like trying to figure out the story. I will finalize what I think the theme should be, and again, that could be something that we can discuss this week as you start to brainstorm your themes. Now, when I was in going for my master's, they wanted us. I took this course called Character Creation and Design, and in that course, we design our characters based off the premise. And the premise is basically going to be the theme, but it's going to be written kind of like as a choice. And usually, your protagonist is going to represent the good side of that choice. Your antagonist is going to represent the bad side of that choice. So as you can see here, my example, well, let me go over the main part. So you get your premise, which is, like I say, it's going to be the theme, and the protagonist and antagonist will represent. And then you also want to state what the inner goal, which is the journey, what is the theme that the protagonist is going to learn. And then you have the outer goal. What is, again, the genre of what you're trying to do for the story. The antagonist goal. So this is something that a lot of writers struggle with because they always try to make their antagonists directly correlate to the hero. But the antagonist, especially when we're talking about an outright villain, their motivation should have nothing to do with the hero, even though they're both going to be opposite sides of the theme. The antagonist's goal should be something that they were going to do regardless if the hero existed or not. So always remember that in your writing. And then the antagonist usually has an opportunity to go to the right side of that theme, and usually they will still choose to do the other. So in favor of Athena, which Michelle is going to be writing, the theme is forgiveness, and it's going to be all three: self, other, and circumstances. The protagonist's journey, so again, I'm thinking of them as an entity. The team goes from guilt-ridden to forgiving, and their outer goal is to find the capture family killer, because this is our mystery series. Our antagonist goal: the killer wants to continue their killings. I didn't want to spoil it for anybody that is going to want to read it, so I didn't want to go too detailed, so I made it kind of like as basic as possible. And then the antagonist opportunity: the killer can choose forgiveness over vengeance, but refuses. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, that's just, I didn't mean to put that in there, I don't think. All right, so let's look at this example. So the theme stated, when you write it, it shouldn't be like the character, he shouldn't be saying like, oh, I need to learn how to forgive, right? It should come from another character or another situation that sets that up. A great example of this is The Incredibles, where Helen tells Bob, you got to be more than a hero if we're going to make this marriage work. And then he tells her that they have to be flexible. So let's check out that scene real quick, because the writing, like, it's phenomenal how they put the theme for both characters in there.
I don't think the audio is working, unfortunately.
You said the audio's not working?
Yeah, I don't hear it on my side.
Yeah, I didn't
I
hear
can't
anything
hear it
either.
either.
Oh, that's weird. All right. I think I know why. Hold on. How about now?
No, I don't hear anything
Still nothing.
Yeah.
Now?
I don't hear anything.
Nope,
Still don't hear
nothing.
me? Okay. I have no clue. Nope, it's not connected to anything else. Right. That's
Robert R., will you have this woman to be your lawful wedded wife?
good.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
I can hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to be more.
We're gonna make this work. You gotta be more than Mr. Incredible. You know that. Don't
As
you?
long as you both shall live. I do. I pronounce this couple husband and wife.
As long as we both shall live, no matter what.
All right, so I thought they had there right after that he kind of still dismisses everything, and then of course if you see Incredibles, you see that they both like he struggles with that throughout the whole movie until he starts doing superhero acts again. So it's a fantastic piece of writing because it wasn't forced. So that's the other thing to keep in mind, that even though you're going to have another character or another situation kind of show what the theme is for the central character, which Bob is more than Helen in Incredibles 1, you got to make sure that it's natural, which is why we're going to spend this week making sure that we develop the theme and make sure that aligns with the characters. We might need to look at it and we might have to change the theme if the theme doesn't serve the story. All right, so does anybody have any questions about the theme stated and interjecting it into your stories? All right. If you want, I'm not going to play the video because pretty much saying what I'm saying. But if you haven't watched this video, please do. That it goes a little deeper into the theme stated. And we already talked about that. So for the rest of the week, your assignment is basically just like we did last week. Except it will be due Saturday by midnight. Is you're going to brainstorm writers. You're going to brainstorm how you want to write what will be chapter 2 for us, and illustrators, same thing. You guys are going to sketch out the theme stated. You don't have to wait for the writer to write what they're going to do, because overall what I wrote for the theme stated is pretty much what it's going to be, unless we do happen to change it during the week. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So just like I was telling Caitlin earlier today, our meetings are probably really going to be under an hour because it's just going to be me going over for the development piece, the piece of the outline that we're working on. And then for some of the other weeks, it'll probably just be like a writer's workshop, illustrator workshop kind of thing. So the meetings are going to be a lot shorter, thank God. And then yeah, I think that's it. So I do have some updates for certain projects. Favor of Athena, I've uploaded the first issue of the comic, all 20 pages. And I also included a link to the first draft of the novel. So just in case my message wasn't clear, I wrote the novel before we adapted it into a comic book. And that between the two, I decided that the introduction of the characters came too fast in the novel. So the first issue of the comic is now how we introduce everybody. And then from I would say chapter 2 to chapter 10 is what you can start with in the novel to kind of like get the gist of the story. Because that's how I've been writing the comic. I've been going by the novel. Just some of the names are different, and I believe maybe some of the concepts. So that kind of stuff is stuff that we can talk about in the stream, or you can always book a one-on-one meeting with me, Michelle.
Okay.
I feel like I updated somebody else. Pack Matters. I already talked to Samantha about it though, so we're good there. So yeah, so just make sure you spend, an hour a day just trying to knock out your chapter twos. As far as brainstorming and stuff like that. I can't wait to see what you guys have in store. And I'm going to open it up for questions, comments, concerns. Okay, you guys are too quiet. What's going on?
So, for illustrators, you want us to just draw out like some quick scenes or
Yeah,
something? Okay.
yeah, just just like you guys did last week, except now you're doing the theme stated.
Okay.
Nishana, no questions.
No questions at the moment. I'm just going to go over what you wrote in that document, and I think I'll be fine. It was very clear. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my goal, is to try to make these as direct as possible. All right, well, oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, so eventually my friend is designing shirts for the company. And I believe we have a favor of Athena shirt up already on the shop. So you guys want to show your support there, you can, or you just want to leave people there to have them support, that's also fine. And I'm just trying to make sure. So writing, drawing, edit. Oh, editors. I'm probably going to send out a document about how to edit, so that way you guys can, start helping me with that part of the process. And then marketing is going to take care of itself eventually. So yeah, so that's it. That's all I got. If nobody has anything else for the good of the order, everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a great night, everyone.
You too. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.